Welcome back, everyone, to the next installment in my Emacs for Writers series. In this video, we will take a look at text expansion in Emacs as a way of saving you some typing, but also helping avoid errors for words and phrases you have to type often and often misspell. So let's get into it. Before we begin, I will mention that this educational series is based on my Emacs for Writers handbook. If you want to follow along with the text, there's a link below where you can download the DRM free ebook. So check it out. Some key concepts we'll be discussing in this video: text expansion automation, global versus mode-specific abbreviations, error correction, persistent abbreviation storage. So Emacs has a special minor mode called Abbrev mode. It can take any abbreviation and automatically expand it into full text. One example of this is to take a complex term and expand it out of a simplified abbreviation. So one example would be a word like Zettelkasten, which I'm sure a lot of my viewers will be familiar with. So this is a word I use often enough to justify an abbreviation, but not quite often enough that I just remember how to spell it. So there are two types of abbreviations. You have global and local. Global will be available everywhere in Emacs. Local would be available to the current mode that you're in. So for example, I'm in org mode here, which is considered a text mode. So if I do a local abbreviation here, it will only apply to other text modes, including org mode. And now there's a few different ways to grab an abbreviation. There's a function, Control-X-A-G, that's going to create a global abbreviation. And there's a Control-X-A-L, which will be a local one. Now, if you're going to run those key bindings, you have to be at the end of the word. So for example, if I'm only on fourth character here, I do Control-X-A-L, you see it just grabbed ZET, what happens before that. So we have to be on the end. We'll do Control-X-A-L, and then I can create an abbreviation like a capital Z and the letter T. And now, as long as Abbrev mode is enabled with MetaX Abbrev mode, the ZT abbreviation will be available to me now. So anytime I type ZT, it will automatically expand into the full word. And if I didn't mean to do that, I can do MetaX and do unexpand Abbrev, and it will bring back just the abbreviation. So you can also use this, as you can imagine, to capture common mistakes. So for example, in the speed of typing, I will often type te, T-E-H, instead of the good and proper the, T-H-E. So when you use the key binding, it can be confusing because it's working backward. So instead, what you want to do is put the, Control-X-A-L, and type in te as the abbreviation. So this way, when you type te, it will turn into the, which is what we want. So yes, Abbrev mode is pretty awesome, but it is a minor mode, so you must make sure it is enabled, as I showed you. You can enable it interactively by doing the standard MetaX and then typing in Abbrev mode. But you can also enable it automatically in your config file with a command like this. So I'm going to actually move over to a scratch buffer here. So you would just add something like this to your config, set q-default Abbrev mode T. So that will just automatically enable it whenever your Emacs config loads if you put that in your config. And as I mentioned before, creating the Abbrev modes with the key binding can be a little clunky if you mess up the order. And if you're not at the end of the word, I actually find it easier to set up Abbrevs with a little bit of Emacs Lisp. So for example, if we did define Abbrev as a function, and this would be a to the text mode Abbrev table, we could expand something like TTYL into talk to you later. So now if I run this command or evaluate the statement, as it's called in Emacs Lisp, with Control-X, Control-E, it has now added that abbreviation to the text mode table. So if I typed it here in this buffer, this is an Emacs Lisp buffer. This is in programming mode, so it won't work. But if we go back over to our org file, you can see TTYL becomes talk to you later. And even though you have to do a bit of Emacs Lisp here, I find this easier because you can actually see both statements and you can kind of proofread it. It's a little easier, I think. But it's just an alternative. So lastly, now that we have added abbreviations to this Emacs session, we want them to be available next time we come into Emacs. We don't want them to just get cleared out of memory when we close Emacs, because that's what would happen. So the easy way to get persistent access to our abrevs is to just have Emacs save them for us. So if I go to quit Emacs, you'll see it'll prompt me to save my abrevs, and I will just answer yes. So closing Emacs with Control X, Control C. Do I want to save? Yeah, we want to save the org file. Here's the one. Save abrevs in, and this is the file name, .abbrev_defs. Yes, we do. So now it's saved our abbreviations. So next time we open up Emacs, you'll actually see, if I go to the file .abbrev_defs, you can see they're defined here. So as we anticipated, the two abbreviations we set up in the org mode file are added specifically to the org mode abbrev table, which is what we wanted. And for the general text mode abbreviations, which would translate over into org mode as well, we have TTYL, the one we set up with the Emacs Lisp command. And I also really like here that every time you expand an abbrev, Emacs will update this count here. So you can look back through your history down the road and see how many times you accidentally typed in te instead of the. I like little data like that. I think it's fun. All right, so there you go. I'm going to go ahead and leave the video right there. As always, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe and like the video and share it with someone who you think may get some value out of it as well. And I will see you all next time.